I feel like I'm gonna just start talking.
We can discuss we can do like a Dave Ramsey style financial advice.
we yeah, we got the NBA and that's it. So like we can do whatever the hell you want.
He said all we have is the NBA, so we can talk about whatever you want.
And Gamecocks. Let's go. National champs again. We're going to the national championship.
National champs.
Women's.
Oh,
Don't be
was the Final Four
sexist.
last night?
Yeah.
I'm not being sexist. I just don't
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. I only watched the Final
Ew.
Four. So
I saw the Final Four court through my neighbor's window. I was like,
there you
oh,
go.
women's
There you
Final
go.
Four must
Tampa
be on.
Bay. Yeah. All right.
I'm down there. We're watching it. At a figure skating. Pretty shocking. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Let's get started.
So we're just running through teams, and
Yeah,
asking
I
questions.
have a list of 10 teams that can win the championship, and then we can go from either teams that didn't win, aren't going to win, or the teams that are going to win. And then we'll just go from there. I feel like we could just
That's
ramble
good.
about teams for a minute, and then,
Yeah.
um, okay, wait, after that, I'll talk about the Gamecocks for a second. We
No
talk about
Minecraft
Minecraft at the
maybe.
beginning. Yeah, we'll do it at the beginning. Uh, you want to do any baseball?
Yeah,
Any
we can do
majors?
some baseball
All right, yeah,
a little bit.
cool. All right. All right. Well, then we'll get started in. Let me take a sip of water. All right. We'll get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, Chris. It's been a long weekend already for myself. Thursday opening night. 6 of my friends from Cape. We rolled up to the Minecraft movie. 5 of us were dressed as Steve. We got the McDonald's meal beforehand. I had to buy that on credit. It's been a rough week, but the Minecraft movie was bad. It was very bad. I hate to say it.
Was it bad relative to your expectations?
So like I came
Is
in
it
with
even worse?
I was gonna say I came in with it like I didn't expect it to be good. The trailers didn't look very good. Um, but it was like a Minecraft movie. Like I was excited to see it. Um, I rolled in. It was just boring. Like it was mad boring. Um,
Shame.
there's too much stuff that's outside of Minecraft, like the real world story that nobody cares about. Like the two main characters, their mother dies for no reason. She's just dead at the beginning. Like there's no point of that. Just to bring them closer, I guess. It's because they have no chemistry throughout the movie. Um, Jack
Mm.
Black's the best part. Jason Momoa is surprisingly awesome in that movie. He's surprisingly awesome. Um, all the lines, like the theater experience was the best part. Everyone rolled in just like gooning for Minecraft. Like it was just like it was a bunch of 20-year-olds that are just, 18 to 25 year olds in there. There's a couple like parents. I felt bad because every scene that was in the trailer was clapped, standed, applauded. Um, and the chicken Jackie scene, you know what I'm talking about? Chicken Jackie. Oh, you haven't seen that on Instagram? See, you're not as brain rot as
No.
I am, clearly.
I went through a phase. I
There's
haven't
a
been
there's
staying up to
this
date with the latest brain rot.
there's this scene um in the trailer that Jack Black just screams out chicken Jackie, and it they build up like a minute long suspense for this scene. And just the theater was just like preparing, like they're just like standing up, like like their hands are ready to clap. Everyone's like it was like who's uh who's the guys that do the UFC commentating? Like
Joe Rogan?
yes, yeah, yeah, Joe Rogan, and he has that reactions where he's like holding his friends back,
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
my God, here it comes." That was it. That was it. That was the chicken jockey scene, and all the trailer shit was funny at the beginning, Like everyone was all hype, excited. By the end of it, it was like a chore. Like people were so bored of that movie. It was so sickening. Um, there's this whole side plot where a villager goes into the real world, and that woman Coolidge, it's like this blonde woman
Yeah,
that's in,
Jennifer Coolidge.
yeah, she's just in everything now, and she just has to be in this movie, and just has to have a love, like a love side story with a villager for no reason. It has no connection to the rest of the plot. It's like a Family Guy cutaway when it goes to that scene. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense. Yeah,
Is
it
it
did.
like an Ice Age when what's his name is chasing the acorn?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes, when Scratch chasing the acorn, that's exactly what these
Scratch, yeah.
scenes are. And it's so ridiculous. And then the end credit scene is just it's Patrick Stewart, the villager, at the end. He's like, "Hello, hello, I'm Patrick Stewart." It's like, all right, cool. Like nobody cares. It was bad. The life lessons was like, it's a children's movie. The moral of the story is if you get bullied at school for making a jetpack that doesn't work, just make a jetpack that works at the end. That's I swear to God, right? Doesn't that
Got
make
it.
no sense? Um, yeah, the
No,
main
like you get bullied and grind harder and
I guess so.
maybe actually succeed.
Yeah, I get well, and like the bullies, of course, mess up his jetpack at the beginning. They cut like a
Mm,
wire that messes it up, and then at the end, he just like he literally rolls into school with like a perfectly fine jetpack that just like he's just like rolling up. He's just the king of the
what does
school.
jetpack have to do with Minecraft?
Nothing. He just builds a jetpack beforehand because he shows it shows he's a creative guy. It shows he's building something in
Got
the
it.
real world.
How
Yeah,
do they get into Minecraft? Is it like Jumanji?
yeah.
Like they just playing the game and then they get sucked in?
No. I see that would make more sense, right? The there's a cube and there there's a big movie trope that people hate that is like thingamajigs, and it's just like this thingamajig does this thing. That is
Yeah,
the beginning
it's
of the
very
movie.
easy to just like
That's the beginning
throw
of the
it
movie.
in there.
Jack Black goes, "Oh, I went to the mines. I wanted to mine when I was a child. I became a middle-aged man, and then I went back to the mines, and then I found this thingamajig that sent me to Minecraft." And
Got
that
it.
is and then the thingamajig is like, we gotta protect the thingamajig all not year, but all movie to make sure the evil guy doesn't get the thingamajig. And then, of course, the evil guy gets the thingamajig. There's a sky beam, literally a sky beam. Avengers ruined the Western
That's what I was
civilization.
about to say. It sounds like
Yeah,
Avengers.
yeah, movies cook. It's a tesseract. It's a tesseract.
Tesseract, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's a blue cube. Um, they could have just called it the tesseract. It would have been the same thing. Um, Not surprising. Kevin, our good friend, saw it the same night and loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I texted him. I was like, I just left because I saw a story that he's at the Minecraft movie, and
Yeah.
I swiped up and I was like, that was terrible. And he was like, you think it was that bad? Like and you always make fun of me for I was back in the we've done this podcast a long time now here. And back in like 2020, 2019, I was big any movie I was just gonna say it was probably good.
Mhm.
And Chris was always about that. Um and I think I've gotten better since then. I think Chris called me out and I've gotten better since then. And that
I've
the
probably also become more accepting with movies. I feel like I was a pretty because that was through my movie phase where I was watching like I was just going off the IMDb top 200 and like I was watching all of the classics. So I had pretty high standards at that time.
the what I told Kevin is I said, and I think this is true, and I don't think it's too much of a I think the FNAF movie, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, was far better than this Minecraft movie.
I never
And
saw that one.
and I was gonna say, and if you saw that one, you're gonna be like, that was better. And that, yeah, I would say that was better. The memes were
What
funny.
about Mario
Mario was much
Bros?
better. Oh, that was great.
Okay.
That was a
I was gonna
good
say
movie.
I actually enjoyed Mario,
Yeah, the Super
but I
Mario
know a lot of
Bros.
people didn't
movie is a
like it.
good movie. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
see. They should have done animated Minecraft. I feel like. I mean, every time they're in Minecraft, it's all animated, anyways.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like they could have been blocky the whole time. Um,
You just want Jack Black to be in it, I guess.
that was the key. Like the beginning, the first like 20 minutes. It's like, is this a Jack Black YouTube video that he just made and they made it a movie? And honestly, if they left it at that, it probably would have been pretty good. But they had to have other
Yeah.
characters that just didn't really do anything. Um,
Gotcha.
all right, watch the Minecraft movie.
I
That's
appreciate the review because I will not be going to see it.
no, it's not. If you're not seeing it this weekend with a packed theater that is expecting it to be bad and cheering at the brain rot, then it's not
Yeah.
worth going. I'm glad I went
I
Thursday
would love
because
that environment.
yeah, it was like a fun
It's
environment.
like Rise of Gru
Yep, Rise of Gru
almost.
was the same thing. Everyone's dressed up as a minion, shit like that. Um, the Rise of Gru thing was funny too because when I was in the theater opening day, fucking dressed as a not I wasn't dressed as a minion, thank God. I'm not that bad.
In suit.
No, I wasn't in a suit either. I just went opening day, and but there were people laughing at that movie, and that was the funniest part. Was like there would just be some just so stupid on the screen, and people would be laughing in the theater, and that would be funny. Um, all right, let's get into some sports. That's what we're here to talk about. We are going to talk about
We
the
do need to restart our movie reviews.
yeah.
Before we fully transition.
I was gonna say yeah.
It's
We
been a long time since we've done a
yeah.
movie
It
review.
seems like we're itching for a movie review, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely all for it. Um, yeah. There's got to be um we never did Air or anything, right? The Michael Jordan movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was a good movie that we could do. Um, all right. Well, we're talking about the NBA today. I have a list of teams that will win, that are in the playoffs right now, that will win the NBA championship or can win the NBA championship. And Chris is just gonna ask me about the teams that can't or the teams that can. Um, and we're just gonna go from there. So my list is a 10-team list. The East is very short. It's a 3-team list for the East. I have the Cavs, the Celtics,
Surprised
and
it's
the
even that many.
yeah, I was gonna say I have the Cavs, the Celtics, and then I got the Pacers sitting there. And the Pacers are just kind of like a if shit goes wrong with the other teams, they could sneak into the finals type of deal because I think they're a good team. I think they're healthy. They have a good roster. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Um, but they're not going to beat a healthy Cavs. They're not going to beat a healthy Celtics. But if luck turns out in their favor, they can end up in a bracket here. And then on the West, we have 7 teams that can win the championship on the West. We got the Thunder, we got the Lakers, we got the Nuggets, we got the Warriors, we got the Clippers, and we got the T-Wolves. What is that? That's not 7. We got 6. We got 6 teams. So we got 9 teams in total that can win the championship. On the East, Cavs, Celtics, Pacers. On the West, we got the Thunder, Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors, and Clippers, and the T-Wolves. Chris, where do we want to start?
Let's start at the East since there's a lot less there. You get the Pacers out of the way. You look at this similar to last year, where it's probably not a team that is talented enough to actually win the finals, but if they end up facing Boston and there are some injuries, or same deal with Cleveland, theoretically they could make it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. And like the other key with the Pacers here is like the Bucks done. Dunzo. Bucks are dunzo. They are a shell of themselves. They don't have Dame Lillard. They're not gonna have him for the playoffs. Um, Kyle Kuzma. They got Giannis. Giannis scored. Um, crap. I'm gonna pull it up because I want to get his complete stats. But I know he had 17 rebounds and 20 assists in his 30 something point triple double last night or 2 nights ago. And the they're like it's tough. You don't want to face the Bucks when you're going to the playoffs because of Giannis. Like that is just that key
Mhm.
is something you don't want to face. But yeah, wait, I'm pulling it up right now. What did he score last night? He scored against the Sixers. He scored 35 points, 20 assists, 20 rebounds, or 17 rebounds. Just insanity. That's some guy you don't want to play in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to be good enough to win them 3 games in a series against someone that's good. But if they're facing, right now the standings, they're the 6th seed. They'd be facing the Knicks. I think they could beat the Knicks round one. I don't believe in the Knicks. That's something we'll get to in a second, I guess. For the East, but I think they could beat the Knicks. I think they could beat, they're if they face the Pistons, um, they could definitely take the Pistons. any of those lower seeds they could take, but I mean they're not facing the Cavs and the Celtics and getting away with 2 wins in that series.
Mhm.
I guess we'll talk
What's
about the
happened, like, with Milwaukee, the Kuzma thing, like, they dealt Middleton for Kuzma. It seemed like the first few games went pretty well, and then since then, just is it his defense or he's just not, like,
so the
level of
the
scorer
the
they thought he was?
the Bucks had a depth issue, which is why they went for Kuzma because they figured Kuzma can help them with defense a little bit. He's a little bit faster than Chris Middleton was at this moment. Um, Chris Middleton was old and he was very injured throughout the season, so they didn't rely on him. So they shipped him off to Washington, of course, to get Kuzma. And the sneaky key is they shipped off AJ Johnson, who he did not play for the Bucks. He's 19, I think he's 20 now. um, he wasn't playing for the Bucks. They drafted him just has to ride the bench. Doc Rivers doesn't like to play young guys. They weren't ever gonna play him. Now he's in Washington. He's dunking machine.
Good wizard.
Yeah, he's a dunking machine. That guy could get up with it. He's very fun to play. It's clear that the other younger Wizards on the team appreciate another younger body in there and like the
Mm,
chemistry's good. Um, so that's not everything. They don't have Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis got suspended for PEDs, messed up, got the wrong medication, said it, took all the responsibility, um, and has been suspended until the playoffs. So they don't have another center. Brooke Lopez is old, very old. Um, and is not going to be that reliable center that they've had for the past couple years. And I think the Kuzma thing is like I'm gonna look at his stats just to see exactly what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, he's scoring 15 points a game. Like it's solid for the Bucks. It's what they need, but they just have too many holes around them that this is gonna fix anything that they have. Their defense is abysmal. Kuzma doesn't help that. Kuzma's never been good at defense. Um, it's it's honestly a shame because they had the championship. They had they had Drew Holiday. They had the whole core that they had for the championship for the next year. They got injured. They lost to the Heat, and then they just blew it up and gave the Celtics the championship with Drew Holiday. Um, going there. I know they didn't trade it to him. They traded him to
I never
Portland, but
understood that.
they completely like it happened. It was an easy scoop for the Celtics right after they got sent to
Yep.
Portland. Um, and honestly, I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, "When did you think the Celtics were going to win the championship last year?" And I was like, "Exactly when that Drew Holiday trade happened." It was like, "This is the final piece. This is what we need."
Yep.
And he's a championship. He's a champion. He's a veteran leader, um, and he's a great defender. Even if he has those bad playoff games when he's on the Bucks because they don't have that extra scorer besides Giannis, and he doesn't have that for the Celtics. So like that's an easy fix. Um, and I think the Bucks fans kind of got like annoyed with him with his playoff. Like he just shot too many times in the playoffs. They relied on him too much in the playoffs, and I think that was a mistake. And they're still recovering from that Kuzma trade, and they're not gonna. Oh, I guess I was a good thing I
Where to
woke
be?
up. Yeah, I was good. Good thing I woke up. Um, but yeah, I don't think the Bucks can win the championship, even with Giannis. They don't have the guys around him. Um, and while we're at the East, let's just grind out Cavs and the Celtics, top two in the East, of course. The Cavs have been the 1 seed the whole time. The Celtics have a chance to get the 1 seed. It's very slim, but they have a chance to get the 1 seed. Uh, they're dominant. They're both dominant. Both these teams. The Cavs are finally piecing together all the pieces that we've been talking about the past couple years. Um, and but that being said, I'm not scared of the Cavs at all. I'm not worried about them. I think
Is it a reason other than it's just, like, the same team that we've seen, and once you get
it's
into the playoffs, like, you're not worried about them being any different?
that's most of it. It's like I'm not afraid of Don. I think with the Celtics guards on defense, they can slow down Garland. They can slow down Mitchell. Mitchell in the playoffs is a different breed as well, so that will be interesting and scary. I think their spacing is going to be the main issue for the playoffs. Their 3-point shooting with Mobley and Allen out there is minimal, um, and it's a lot on the guards. So they're great defensively when they have that lineup out there. They got Hunter from the Hawks to help out. He's always been a quote unquote like guy to defend Tatum, and Tatum's always been good against him. But he's a bigger body that can play defense against him. Um, the Max Strus, like if those guys light up like that's when it gets scary. I think like when those guys start lighting the Ty Jerome's, um, on the Celtics, like if they start getting hitting threes, there's going to be an issue for the Celtics. I think Porzingis, a healthy Porzingis matters a lot in this playoffs. Um, they can't run through the East without him. I don't think they can run through the Celtics or the Cavs without him. And I just think that spacing advantage is what I'm not worried about and why I think that they can beat the Cavs. And but the Cavs are having an excellent season. I think 60 plus wins, first time since LeBron had a bunch of bums on his team and carried them. Um, they're a fun team too. A lot of depth, a lot of different players that could go off. Um, and they 1,000% can win the championship. They could beat a number of these West teams. They could beat the Celtics. I do think they could beat the Celtics in a series. Um, I wouldn't. I'm not scared of them. I think the Celtics are balls to the wall. They've had like stretches where they just haven't cared, and that is I think that's a telling sign. They just went on a West Coast trip, and I think they went 6-0 in the West Coast trip. Um, so they're getting in their groove. Everyone's staying healthy for now, hopefully. And if we can get it like a couple vintage Horford playoff moments, then there's no way then we're losing this championship. Um,
How many more years of this are we gonna do with Horford? Like, it feels
I
like
have
every
no
year
idea. I
it's
have
this
no
is his
idea.
last year. I thought that the Warriors finals,
Yep.
like, this was the last year that we were gonna get Horford performances like that,
Yeah,
and he
the
just hasn't gone away.
No, he hasn't gone away, and it's really been a great story. Like this guy has been with the Celtics for years. He signed with Sixers, then got traded to OKC, didn't play for a whole year, then came back, uh had that year with the Celtics where he was completely rested. They won the championship. He was a big part for them, and the key with Horford is like he's been growing with Tatum and Brown this whole time, and they really respect and love that guy as a teammate. Um, so I don't know what we're gonna do with Horford, but if he's shooting 50% from the field, um, and 30 something from three, I'm gonna take that any day of the week. He scored 26 against Memphis on Monday. That was his career high, or not career high, but his high for the season. And if we can get that guy going off this time, it's gonna be some scary noise. But I was telling my dad, I was like, I don't see a way where we win the championship, he doesn't retire. Like, he's gotta retire at that point. Like if we go back to back, he's
After 2
gotta
in a
just
row.
yeah, exactly, end up on top. Um, but he's gonna be a pivotal point to the playoffs. If they do have to face the Bucks at some point, he'll be a great, he's always on Giannis, always playing great defense on Giannis. Just that veteran leadership, I think rounds the team together at times um, when like the offense goes a little sideways, where they start missing some threes. He like bunkers them down. All right, you want to go to the
Horford's been in the
West?
league since 2007, right?
Oh,
Just
that
for
is
what it's
yeah,
worth.
yeah. Third pick in 2007 draft. I think the only people that are from before then or then are like Chris Paul, Kevin Durant,
Um,
LeBron. That's probably it. DeAndre Jordan, maybe. I don't know when he was drafted, but that's what we're looking at here. It's pretty incredible. And to get 8 points a game even and shooting 40%, that's for a
yeah,
for a guy drafted in 2007, that's incredible.
yeah, it's
Um,
unreal. Before we move on, I do wanna ask about the Knicks. So you don't have the Knicks in
yeah.
your teams that can actually win the finals. Is
Yeah.
this has anything changed since our last pod with Barton when we talked about the Knicks' depth issues? Like, is that still the driving force?
That's the key here. They don't trust anyone on their team. They like the coach Thibodeau just grinds out the starters for 40 plus minutes a game. They kind of like Deuce McBride. Um, they could get like they could have more minutes from Tyler Kolek. I think he's from Marquette.
From Marquette? Yeah.
Yeah. He's young and he's Thibodeau's another coach that doesn't play any young guys. Like they don't play any young
Yeah.
guys. They just play their starters. And then when the starters come out, it's Landry Shamet and it's campaign, and that's the key. I'm not seeing no Landry Shamet and campaign in my playoffs, bro. That's not a winning success. When the second they come out there, I'm like, all right, they're cooked. Um, they're not good at defense. They're not good at shooting. Both, and I'm describing both of them. They're like the same player. I can't believe they have both of them on the team, and they're gonna they're gonna end up having to play them in big minutes. And if Mitchell Robinson isn't healthy and isn't playing, they don't have a defensive center. They have an offensive center and Cat. And Cat's been playing great. The whole starting lineup's been playing great. And but if Jalen Brunson's injured right now, if he's not 100%, if he's struggling at all, there's a real absence of this team for a point guard, and there's a real absence of scoring for this team. Um, where I say this all the time with basketball, especially with college, that the guy who stirs the drink, he's got the straw, he's stirring the drink. That's Jalen
Mhm.
Brunson. And they have OG Anunoby, they have Mikal Bridges, but they haven't ran plays for them. They haven't like set up offenses for them. It's always been Brunson. It's always been, and then now that Brunson's out, they they have this void that they're just trying to fill. And it's like Shamit minutes, it's campaign minutes, DeLon Wright minutes, and none of those
Eesh.
guys are Jalen Brunson. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the I like the Knicks, and it's a shame. Like their starting five is one of the best in the NBA, but their starting five can't play 50 minutes a game in the playoffs. This can't happen. They're gonna break down. They're gonna end up shoot, and if they don't break down, like actually injury wise, it's gonna be their shooting performances die down. Their attacking the rim goes down because they're tired. Their defense goes down. Like it's especially in the later series when they play back to back to back to back. It's every other night. Um,
Mm.
it's gonna be a slog for the Knicks, and they're gonna run out of players real quick than like last year.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah. I mean that makes sense.
what else we got? East wise, I think I do. All right, let me mention the Pistons. Pistons
Shout
been
out
playing.
Pistons.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out the Pistons. Um, I
How many
wrote
years
them.
has it been since they've been in the playoffs? Like the real playoffs, not the play-in. Maybe the play-in too, though. It's been forever.
They were an 8 seed against the 1 seed Raptors with Blake Griffin. I think
Mm.
that was the last time they made it. Yeah, Blake like willed them into the playoffs. I think that was it. But they're a 5th seed. They're not even gonna make the play-in. They're gonna make the playoffs.
2018.
Um, they've been playing great ball. They're a little too young.
Yeah.
Haven't been through the wars. I think that shit matters in basketball more than any other sport. Um, I think Cade Cunningham's a baller. I think the rest of their team is really stacked up well. They got a lot of young guys. Um, they got off the bench Michael Beasley. He's shooting
Mhm.
insane amount of threes, hitting them at a great percentage. Um, I think they're good. They're definitely fun. They're gonna take a team like if they play the Pacers in the 4-5, I could see them knocking out the Pacers. Um, and I guess we haven't mentioned the Pacers in the beginning, and maybe I should take them off this list. Maybe I don't think they can win the finals, but it's got to be like the Celtics and the Cavs just like kill each other in round two or something, and then they just sneak in.
Yeah.
So the Pistons they're a fun story, great team. They're all like 20. They're all 20 years old. Like just give them some time.
It's kind of like
Uh,
the Magic of last year, a little bit. I would assume that
yes,
they're playing a better brand of basketball, though, and they have Cade, whereas the Magic didn't really have like that dude. But
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And without Paolo on the Magic, yeah, Paolo's like that guy where Cade would be. And
mhm,
I think Cade this year has scored a little more effectively. He's definitely shot the 3-point better than Paolo has. Um, so I completely agree. It's similar to that year, um, to last year's Magic. And Magic are another team where I remember we were doing the preseason, we did our standings predictions, and I think I had them 7, and Barton was all mad, and they just have injuries, and the second that they're missing one of their guys, their offense is not they don't have the 3-point shooting to like build that in the aggregate. Um,
mhm,
they need shooters, they need a point guard. Um, they'll be interesting in the offseason because they were good last year and because they were competitive this year. They'll definitely take a team like if they play the Celtics round 1, I think they win 2 games. I think they win 2 games, they make it to 6. Um, they're just a big team. They get a lot of rebounds. I watched them against the Wizards. They completely destroyed the Wizards. But they can just they're big bodies on that Magic team. Um,
mhm.
so I think they'll be fun in the playoffs. I think the Hawks will be fun in the playoffs. Because they always are. Just Trey Young, just
The
jacking up
classic
threes.
play-in.
Oh yeah. Oh, the East playing is as classic
Them,
as it
the
gets.
Bulls, the
Yep.
Heat.
Yep. The plan for the East right now is Magic, Hawks, Bulls, Heat. With the Raptors ain't making it. They're
Yeah,
way
yeah,
behind.
they're already done.
That's pretty much locked in. Um, that's as classic as it gets. Like that is just the East playing is the Bulls and the Hawks just live in the East playing,
Yep.
and honestly the Heat too. This Heat team is not a Jimmy Butler Heat team.
Yeah.
Um, this Hawks team is gonna be the same Hawks team that we've seen the past couple years in the playoffs that win 1 or 2 games against one of the top seeds. It'd be exciting for a game or two, and then they'll get eliminated. I can't believe the Bulls want to be here. I can't believe the Heat are here. It's when you look at this, you look at the Sixers and you just think they just had a terrible season. Like the fact that they're that behind with the
Still on
roster
tank.
that they're paying. Oh yeah, they're big time tank. Um, yeah,
So
they
somebody
want.
yesterday, nobody tanks like the Sixers can tank.
Oh yeah, I
Because I
see
think
because the
they stuck on
Maxi.
Maxi for the rest of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. They
How many
let's
have
see
they
what
lost in a row?
they lost
10.
1-10. Yeah, I was gonna say they have that, don't they? Let's see what the Maxi injury is.
Unreal. Yeah, injury. Annoying if
Finger
he went,
injury,
if they got the
season-ending
first pick.
finger injury.
Yeah, right.
Finger injury.
Pull
That's
up
hilarious.
Tankathon. Yeah, they're fit now. They're only 2 games back at the Pelicans for that top 4. Oh, I guess it's top 3 that have the best odds.
Also, with the best odds this
They
year,
still have 10%.
I'm starting to get mad that it's only 13 this year. Like this is now I'm mad. Like how the Wizards only got
It's
a
14.
13% chance. 14% chance to get the
Yeah,
Cooper flag here.
I
This is
know.
ridiculous. Um
It is ridiculous. They have had the perfect season though, where they started so horrifically, and then so they positioned themselves to be a lock for the top 3, and then they actually started playing some fun basketball as
yeah,
of late.
they're
So
surprisingly
it's been a
fun.
dream season, honestly.
Yeah, it's a dream tank season, and they beat the Kings a couple nights ago, and I was just like, oh no, we got to stay ahead of the Magic
Yeah, I saw.
the Jazz. We got to stay ahead of the Jazz. Um, and but I guess it does. I guess it's all 13% chance at that point, and they're in it. They're
Yeah,
at the
I
bottom
just
three.
simmed a lottery and they got the 5th pick. Let me try it again.
I hate sim in the lottery, bro. It makes me so disappointed every time.
They got
Um,
2nd this time.
yeah, it normally ends
Only
up with the
got 1.
second.
Man.
All right, let's
Oh, they wait.
mm,
Okay, I heard it now.
let's
Gotten first
let's move on to
once.
the
I mean,
West.
it's 14% low chance. Sorry, I'll stop talking
No, you're
about the
totally fine.
lottery.
Um, but that'll be that's gonna be a big day here in Washington, a lottery day.
Yes.
Um, let's go to the West. I got 6 teams here that can win the championship. I'm gonna run through them again. I got the Thunder, I got the Lakers, I got the Nuggets, Warriors, Clippers, and the Timberwolves can all win the championship. Where do you want to start?
We can start at the top with OKC. Uh, I mean, from start to finish, this team has been the best in the West and really in the league. They have a better record than the Cavs now, right?
Yeah, they're
So
dominant.
are they like, are
64
they the
wins.
clear favorite
Yeah, oh
to
yeah.
win the West right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're the clear
That's
favorite.
what I would assume, but
Everyone
is
loves this team. Like everyone loves this team.
is
And
SGA going to win MVP?
yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty much locked in. I know Jokic
How
is pulling
valid
it.
is the foul stuff?
He
Like
definitely he definitely
that he's a free throw
he
merchant.
definitely gets to the line a lot. Um I'm gonna look up how many free throws he gets. Um
I will be
sorry.
rooting for the Thunder because of Aaron Wiggins. I forgot that he's on that team.
He attempts 9 free throws a game. So that is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of free throws. Um but he's that
9
good.
times.
Like he goes to the line
Yeah,
because he's that good. He has that touch that a lot of other players, don't have anymore. And he can position his body to get the foul call, to get and ones, to get shit like that. Um, they're just so deep, so deep.
yeah.
Their second lineup could be a starting lineup in the NBA. I absolutely love Kason Wallace. Let me Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe is just like an afterthought. Um, they have guys that they drafted this year like Nikola Topic, and I mean I think Topic is injured, but Usman Jang last year don't even play. Um, they they have so much depth on this team. Aaron Wiggins, you mentioned.
They're built
They
like a
trade
2K team that you get all the picks, like, you take over the team, you trade your assets for all the picks, and then you just use untapped potential in the offseason all of your guys, and then you have, like, 85 overalls across the board on the bench,
that's
along with your 99 overall SGA, and yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how they're built. And they this year in the offseason, they doubled down. They got Caruso. They traded Giddy for him. They didn't like how Giddy played in the playoffs. They didn't like how dominant he had to be with the ball. So they got Caruso for him. They got Isaiah Hartenstein to help out if Chet's injured. And so Chet can play the 4 instead of the 5. It's a it's an insane team. It's an absolutely insane team. Um, I think I'm worried because I'm a skeptical person, and I think that there's like so much hype about behind them and so much guaranteed that they're gonna win that scares me because I think they're still young. I mean, Shea is 27 at the most. He's maybe 25.
Yeah, he's, like,
Um,
the oldest guy on the team. I
yeah,
guess
and he's
Caruso
he's
is probably
26
older than
years
him.
old. Um, which is the leader of the team. He's in like that's kind of prime numbers, but the rest of the team is all young 20s. They're all under 25.
Yep.
Um, I think that type of shit matters. I think when they're facing LeBron and Luca, that's gonna matter. I think those guys are just gonna be smarter than them. I think Jokic is gonna be smarter than them. Um, Steph Curry smarter than them. Um, and that's not a diss. It's just they haven't been there to experience what Curry and Jokic and all of them have already experienced.
Yeah.
And I think that's my growing concern for them. I would hate I might that might be a completely bad concern. Like they might just roll to the playoffs. There's a chance they blow out
Mhm.
teams. Like they completely blow out teams. They've beaten everyone in the league this year. They've won 60 plus games, 64 at this moment. Um, they're incredible. They're an incredible team, and they're going to be tough to beat. But I think they could come to this stance where there's a veteran that's in their way that knows what to do in the playoffs and knows a little more than they know, and that's what would concern me the most about OKC.
Yeah, that makes sense, and, like, just looking at the standings too, you see having the Rockets at the top, and then lurking right below them are 3 teams who have, like, I mean, 2 generational play or 3 generational players really, and 4. Luca and LeBron on the Lakers, Jokic, and then Steph Curry. They've all won the finals before, and I like it's not an argument that the roster is not as talented, but you're right. If you get into, we're getting late in the series, game 5, game 6, game 7, it's tough to bank on a team that hasn't done it before.
Yeah, and I think I wonder, like, I'm excited to see them in the playoffs to see if that matters. To see
Yeah,
if
you're
that
right. It might not at all.
yeah, there's definitely a chance where that doesn't matter at all. But there's a world where Luca comes in and LeBron comes in. They've been to countless finals. Luca was just in the finals. Um, the Warriors have Jimmy Butler now, who was just in the finals. Steph Curry just won the finals 2 years ago. Jokic just won the finals a year ago. They have a similar team. They have they got a bunch. I mean, the Nuggets got a bunch of guys on their team as well, and they haven't been piecing it together. And then you look at the Clippers and you look at the Timberwolves, and they got Anthony Edwards and they got Kawhi Leonard. They got a healthy James Harden. They got a healthy Kawhi. If the Clippers end up with that 8 seed, the OKC is going to win 60 games and then have to do a 7-game series against the Clippers. Um,
Yeah,
and that's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun at all. Um, the I it's funny, like, when you're looking at this, you want the young teams in the West. You want the Rockets, you want the Grizzlies, um, and that's maybe the Timberwolves. And then the rest of these teams, like, you don't want to face these guys. You don't want to take that. You win 65 plus games, and then you have to face James Harden and Kawhi Leonard in the first round. Low key, that's bullshit. Like, that's crap. They should be facing the Atlanta Hawks in the 1-8 seed. Um, and so that's why I got the Clippers on there. I think if they've played OKC the first round, I think there's a chance for a major upset.
yep.
They've been playing incredible. Zubac has been an amazing center for them. Kawhi's been healthy and playing and looking like Kawhi. Um, they're going to be fun to see in the playoffs. Um, I don't know where. There's a ton I can go here. The Timberwolves are going to be fun in the playoffs. They got Anthony Edwards. They just made it to the Western Conference Finals. They'd have a different team, but Julius Randle has been coming into his own with this team. They're finally figuring out how to work together with the later stretch. They've won 4 in a row. Had a lot of big games in that stretch. Um, and that biggest concern is, of course, Randle in the playoffs. Um, Randle in the playoffs is not gonna be exciting. Um, but if they can minimize, they focus on Anthony Edwards and they minimize the shots um that he's taking and the big moments that he's taking, and they pawn that off to Edwards. That guy's got the mojo. That guy's got the dog in him, and I'd be scared to play the Timberwolves as well. Uh, so I'm gonna talk about the Rockets because they're not on this list. Um, we talked about the Rockets a lot when Barton was on. Barton loved the Rockets.
He
And
did love the Rockets.
it's the same story. Same story that I was telling Barton. Um, they're too young. They're not gonna have the offensive standards that they need in the playoffs. They might win a round. I mean, they're gonna be the 2 seed. They've won a lot of basketball games. Ime Udoka is a great coach. Um, but
Oh, I
they don't have a
forgot that he was the coach there.
right? Right? They don't
I
have the
totally forgot about that.
go-to scorer. It's either Jalen Green or it's
Yeah,
Amon Thompson or it's Dylan Brooks or it's Van Vliet. And they don't have the go-to guy. They don't have the guy that they can rely on, run a play for with in crunch time. That's going to be their downfall. Um, but they're definitely going to be a strong team. They're definitely going to be fun to watch in the playoffs. Um, I don't think they're going to win the championship. Um, Uh, should we talk about the Lakers for a second?
sure. I will say about the Rockets, if this team was in the East, you could make a little bit more of an argument
Yeah.
because they have a path, much easier path to at least Eastern Conference Finals,
Yeah.
where you don't have to go through their path. Right now, if everything holds, they would have the Clippers in the first round, and then they would see either the Lakers or the Timberwolves in the next round. Probably the
Yeah.
Lakers.
That would not be fun. And
It's
as you
tough,
said,
tough for a young team, especially for any team, but especially one that is that young and doesn't have that dude.
Yeah,
We'll say.
1000%. And if they were in the East, they could match up against the Cavs if they somehow skipped the Celtics, and it would have been like a experience versus experience. These guys haven't been in the finals. These guys haven't been in the finals. It doesn't matter as
Yeah.
much. The Cavs definitely have more of a go-to guy than the Rockets do with Donovan Mitchell. Um, but similar teams where there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of players, um,
Mhm.
and they could if they were in the East, yes, I would definitely see them going to the finals. But yeah, in the West, it's a
Not.
tough draw. It's a tough draw.
I don't. It's weird how it feels like that's how it is every year. Like there might have been a year or two where the East was dominant, but I feel like since I can remember, like since LeBron was on the Heat, I feel like
It's
the
been
East has always
yeah,
been the easiest conference.
it's
I
been
don't know why that is.
I don't know why that is either. I mean, I guess the Western teams might be just smarter, draft
I
better.
guess because there's no like. It's. I was thinking like maybe it's the basketball markets, but like the East has Boston, Philly, New York, like Miami,
And
New
Chicago.
York again, Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not that like the West has LA,
Yeah,
and that's
they got
most of
LA
the
and the
other ones are
Warriors.
below the top 4 in the East, so, yeah, it is interesting
I
why
don't know
that
what
seems to happen every year.
it would be a cool like experiment to see like the history of the East to see how this happened because I think it's been since Jordan. It's been since like the 90s that the East has not been
Yeah,
strong. And probably since the Pistons and like they were battling with the Bulls, like that was probably when the East was the strongest. And as you said, ever since we've been alive, ever since LeBron's been on the Cavs, it's been a free walk to the finals every time.
pretty much.
And now it's just I mean I'm hoping um now I'm hoping it's a free path for the Celtics. Um but they had the Bucks year. They had a couple Heat teams that made the finals and they didn't win. Um, so it's definitely been a lull on the East side, and I don't know what the key is. I think maybe the East like the East has teams like the Hornets, the Hawks, the Raptors who drafted a guy high and now are kind of stuck with him. They sell tickets. They they shoot a lot of points. They get a lot of points. They shoot a lot of threes. They're popular within the city, and I think that eliminates a lot of front offices like hopes for making a big move or winning. Like we have this
Mhm.
guy, we have to make sure we keep this guy because if we don't have this guy, if we don't have LaMelo Ball, no one's coming to the Hornets games, and that's like their key. Um, I think that's what ends up with the Heat. Like the Hawks with Trey Young is the same thing. Um,
Yeah,
the Raptors with
Bulls
Scotty
with
Barnes.
choose your player year by year,
Well, the
Zach
Bulls.
Levine for a while.
I was gonna say the Bulls just they are obsessed with mediocrity. Just, if they make the play in, they're so solid. They're like, we made the playoffs, we're good to go.
They
Um,
need Jerry Reinsdorf needs to die.
it's it's bad. It's real
That
bad.
guy is the worst.
It's real bad. Um, yeah, I don't know what like they end up in these positions with their own choosing. Like they end up here
Yeah.
on purpose, and I think that's the main issue with the Bulls. Um, let's uh let's talk about the Lakers for a second. Lakers, Luca, LeBron. They don't have that center still, but they've been able to figure it out in the aggregate. They have uh they have Rui Hachimura, massive. They have Jared Vanderbilt, big guy. They got Jackson Hayes, center. Um, they got Dorian Finney-Smith, big guy. They're able to play with them without a true center out there, without a lob threat. This team would be much better with one. Um, if that Mark Williams trade went through and he was able to stay healthy, it would be a much different team. I think we'd be talking about them as right up there with the OKC Thunder. I think they'd be winning. I think they would get a lot more national attention. Which the Lakers they get a shit ton of national attention, but like for winning more than just storylines. Um,
Mhm.
Look, I don't want to watch. I don't want to face LeBron and Luca in the playoffs. I don't think it matters who else is on their team. It hasn't mattered who else is on their team their whole careers for both of them. Um,
Yep.
so why should it matter now? Um, I think they could pick apart OKC. And I know OKC is a defensive mastermind. They could shoot, they could score. Um, but they're just smart. They're insanely intelligent. And their basketball IQ with those two guys on the floor, not even counting Austin Reeves, who is like a mini Luca at this point. Um, he's incredible. They always have LeBron, Austin Reeves, or Luca on the court at all
Mhm.
times. And when you're subbing LeBron for LeBron to get rest in the third quarter, um, that's just the luxury that no other team has, and no other team is probably ever going to have in the NBA, uh, because of how ridiculous this trade was. They
Yeah.
they need some people to step up. They need Gabe Vincent to hit shots. They need Jared Vanderbilt to play as best as he can, and they need Austin Reeves to play at his A level. But if they get a couple guys hitting some threes, they get a couple guys off the bench, Dorian Finney-Smith in the corner, they could definitely make some noise. They could definitely find their way in. Oh, they're in the Western Conference Finals. Oh, they're it's game 6 in the Western Conference Finals and they're up 3-2. Like it's
Yep.
I feel like there's a chance where we find ourselves in that situation. Um because I think they could I think they could beat the Warriors. Um I think they could beat the Nuggets. Um Warriors I might cross off. The Jimmy Butler is what has me leaving him on there. Just like the playoff riser of Jimmy Butler. He's a different breed in the playoffs. Um, so I took that into account. I think if that happens, if we get a Jimmy Butler that's a little more not locked, like I think he's been locked in on the playoffs, but if he's scoring 21 points a game instead of 17, um, then I think the Warriors can make some noise, and I think that's why I leave him on there. And Curry, Curry's always going to be Curry. Um, and you definitely don't want to face him in the playoffs, but
Who are
they're
their big guys?
That's their big guys are not they're not good. It's Quentin Post, um, Kevon Looney
I
still.
never heard of Quentin Pace.
He's like a 3-point specialist center. Not very good at the
Interesting.
post. Yeah, he's more of like a shooter for the center position. His last game he ended with 6 for 9 from 3. And he shot 10 field goals. So that's how you could tell what kind of player or what kind of center he is.
Are they just getting crushed on the glass every night? Who's rebounding for them?
It's Draymond, it's a little bit of Kuminga. Um, but not really. It's a lot of Draymond. Draymond's been coming into his own. There's hype for him to get Defensive Player of the Year. Um, I think that's like
For
a
Wemby?
recent.
Oh wait, Wemby's done.
Yeah,
Forgot
Wemby's
about
out.
that.
So that's the weirdest thing. We the Defensive Player of the Year is like this void because Wemby was gonna get it.
Yeah,
He was locked in to get it.
right.
So it's like Jaren Jackson Jr. Um, it's Draymond Green. I think it should be the kid from Atlanta, Dyson Daniels. Um,
Mhm.
the Great Barrier Thief. I mean, he got himself a nickname for how good he is at defense. Um, it's funny. It seems like it might go to Draymond just because of this recency bias. I mean, he had a great performance against the Lakers 2 nights ago, where back in the day when he was playing with or playing against Anthony Davis and LeBron. It was almost like against the Lakers, he would mellow out. He would just like
Mhm.
relax because like those are his boys, and he was balls to the wall against this Lakers team. So
Mhm.
that'll be like I think he's gonna be a major piece in their playoff run, and he's definitely playing better, and he's definitely coming into his own. He didn't have any problems this year with suspensions. He didn't fight anybody. Um, so I think that's gonna be a huge part for the Warriors. Um, but what you said with the bigs, with their depth, it's like you got Curry, Butler, Draymond Green. You got Gary Payton still there. You got Kevin Looney still there. They've won championships. Then you're relying on guys that you just haven't relied on, and the Warriors haven't wanted to rely on. In Jonathan
Yeah.
Kuminga, Moses Moody, now Quentin Post, Buddy Hield. Like those are guys that are going to take big playoff shots, and that's where their downfall is going to be. Is with those guys are taking
Mhm.
the big playoff shots.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but I do think like I like Trace Jackson Davis. I think if they can get him going, as they don't like trust him though as like their major center. Like they don't play him as the 5 or the starting 5 all the time. Um, I think they can make some noise. I think they can definitely go up against some of these teams with the Curry factor and just shoot them out of the park. Um, it'll be funny if all this conversation is wiped away with an OKC just domination throughout the playoffs. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm only saying that because of everyone else. Like and I'll admit I'm not locked into OKC. I'm not watching Oklahoma City every night. Um, but I know what they're doing. I know they're dominating teams. So we might see a reality where none of this matters and OKC just smokes people. Um, but
We did this with the Celtics last year,
yep,
where we talked about all these teams and we're like, maybe in the right situation, like, the Celtics haven't won it yet.
yeah.
There's so much pressure on them to do it. Um, you have like the Jimmy Butlers of the world, which I think he ended up missing the playoffs, but teams like that. Obviously, the West is still much better than the East was last year. But yeah, it definitely could be another one of those situations. And I don't think it would really surprise anybody.
No, I don't think it
Like if
would
they
surprise.
swept the Lakers, that might be a surprise. But if they beat them in 5 or 6,
Yeah, I think that would be. I think as of right now, that's like what everyone's thinking. Like everyone's locked into these
yeah,
guys winning the championship, and I think if I'm going to be contrarian and that's my concern, then that's my concern. But I'm not going to be like they're not a good basketball team. They're a fantastic
yeah.
basketball team. Um, well, the Nuggets I haven't mentioned. They're like the last ones, and the T. Actually, no, we talked about the T Wolves. Nuggets,
We
last one I
talked about the
mentioned.
T-Wolves.
Um, it's just Jokic, man. Jokic is incredible. He's pushing with these fast final games to steal the MVP from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's definitely a conversation. It's definitely something that you can argue about. Um, I do think Shea has earned it. I think Shea deserves it. Um, how much better his team is, uh,
Mhm.
wins wise, I think matters. Um,
Although you got to look at the on and off the floor splits.
oh yeah,
It's Jokic
big time.
every year. It's like it's way ahead of everybody in that stat, which I
The
feel like is the most effective MVP stat, right?
right? Oh, I completely agree.
Like
I
if we're doing the whole team thing,
If it's most
like
valuable.
let's not look at wins. Yeah, right.
No, I completely agree with that.
And
And I
he's
think
always they're like plus 20 with him on the floor and minus 15 with him off the floor. It's unbelievable.
that's the key with the Nuggets in the playoffs. What are they going to do when they have to sit Jokic? That they're going to have to
Yeah,
survive. They're going to have to survive 8 minutes a game without him out there.
right.
And that's the key. Like they've been able to get some good Westbrook games, some good Westbrook minutes. He's coming off the bench. He knows his role. He plays
What
well
happened
with
the other
Jokic.
night? Did he I saw he like blew the game for them
I heard about that too.
like last week, I think.
Man, I wish if I knew you were gonna bring it up, I would have looked at the play by play. I think it was an overtime game, and I'm pretty sure he had a terrible pass, right, or something, or a
Okay.
bad shot or something. And it was a game where Jokic wasn't playing. They've had a lot of games recently where a lot of their starters aren't playing, um, and they've been riding like Russell
Oh, this
Westbrook like
Jokic had
that.
61 points this night.
Oh, that was that game
I
where he
just
had
found the
60, 10,
game. They
and
lost to
10.
the Timberwolves. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yes.
had 60, 10, and
All right,
10.
I'm watching it now. I don't know why I didn't do this before the podcast, but
I do. I was
you
listening to
get some
someone break
audio.
that down. The they were saying that with that overtime, I mean Westbrook comes off the bench, just leave him on the bench at that point.
Oh,
Why you even playing him at that point? That's what I heard. How bad he was, but
he missed a wide open layup.
no,
Well, somewhat contested. Oh, and then he fouled a guy on the three. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
they're gonna have to
Sorry to
minimalize.
derail, but
No, I think that's perfect. I think that's they're gonna have to minimalize that effect. That in late game
yeah,
scenarios, just don't have Russell Westbrook out there. Have him for
yeah.
the 30 something minutes in between. Don't have him in the last 12 minutes. Don't have or not 12, but I don't know, 6 minutes, 10, 5 minutes. Um, don't
Mhm.
have him in the beginning. Just get your team ramped up. Have him be that guy that comes in when Jokic is out, brings the energy, brings the passing, um, tries to hit guys in the corner. They don't need to play them together, and I think they win the most games when they're not playing together.
Yeah.
But when they are playing together too, you have this Westbrook thing where anyone who cuts on the Nuggets gets a free basket because Jokic is standing at the free throw line with the ball over his head, and passes it the
Right.
perfect pass to him. So they have that aspect too, where he could be an Aaron Gordon type, where he can lob dunk, and he could be that guy that gets the good cuts because he does cut, but you don't want to take him threes. You don't want him playing defense in the last couple minutes.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I think we covered everything. Grizzlies aren't winning it. Mavericks aren't winning it. Everyone knows why the Mavericks aren't winning it. Anthony Davis did come back. That'll be fun in the playoffs. Maybe he could be like a Pelicans Anthony Davis, but those teams didn't win anything either. So, um, we'll see when they get healthy if their vision comes into fruition. But it's not their year this year. The Grizzlies, they've just been free falling. They were the 2 seed like a month ago.
Yeah, I remember us talking about them as the 2 seed.
They are it's all falling apart for them. People are finding ways to expose them. Um, John Morant got fined seven
For the
hundred fifty
Bang
thousand
Bang.
dollars for the Bang Bang. He did it twice, back-to-back games. He did it. Um, got fined for both of those. I don't know. They just don't have the players. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of guys on the team, but they don't have that guy. I mean, maybe John Morant can step up. His 3-point shot is not where you want it to be. For him to be that usage of a guy, that much of a usage guy, um,
Mhm.
you need his 3-point shot to be a little bit better. Um, They're definitely going to be interesting. They might win a game or two, but they're not they're not there yet. And it's a shame. They got a lot of players. They got a lot of good players. Um, they fired their coach like a week
Yeah, I
ago.
remember seeing that.
And apparently
Odd.
Ja didn't like the offensive scheme. They hired one of their assistants that is like some foreign guy that apparently has a great scheme that they like. Um,
They just not getting the ball enough?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. I voted for that coach to be coach. Not voted, bet because I don't have a vote. I bet that guy to get coach of the year at the beginning of the
You should
season.
have a vote.
Yeah, we should have a vote. That'd be sweet. I mean, everyone's at top pod's got a vote, right? We're in the media.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, the real key is it's funny. It's like the real key is an NFL vote. If we can get an NFL vote,
Yeah.
we're locked in. Like we said. Yeah, I was gonna say. Um, I would be. I wonder how many people feel the same way I do. Like, there's so many people that talk about all these awards and all these favorites for the awards, who they think should win, and then the ballots come out and they're all pretty similar. I wonder if there's people that are just like they listen to all this crap and their vote gets like swayed. They're like, oh, I don't want to put
No, yeah,
say
definitely.
yeah, like I don't want to put I'm looking at the Grizzlies roster. I'm not gonna put John Moran on NBA first team because all these guys didn't. But I
Yeah.
believe that he should be on it, but I'm not gonna do it.
Well, also when you're on social media every single day, because like your job is in the media, so you
Yeah.
probably spend 2-3 hours a day on Twitter. Like you're gonna get influenced by stuff.
Yo, yeah. And I think too, I mean, the people who do specifically NBA pods every week, it's like it's hard to not. It's same thing as football. Whenever we do the weekly football stuff, it's hard not to be
Yeah.
recency biased. It's hard not to
Oh yeah.
see what we're seeing on the court immediately and then changing our opinion based on that. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter, but I wonder how many voters like. I wonder if Draymond Green might just win the defensive player of the year. He only played good defense for half the season. The second half of the season is the only time he played good defense,
Yeah.
and he might win defensive player of the year, just because everyone on podcasts are saying it right now. All
Everyone on
right,
podcasts, including
including us.
Draymond Green.
Oh yeah, and including Draymond Green. Yeah. I think.
Maybe that's
Ma-
why, because he's in the media world, so they got a soft spot for him.
yeah, maybe he's got relationship with these guys. I mean, what? He's
Oh
on
yeah,
Colin Cowherd's
definitely.
network, so if Colin Cowherd's got a vote, he's probably gonna vote for him.
Howard can't help it.
I don't think. I wonder if he has a vote. Let's have a NBA ballot. No. According to AI, it's highly unlikely. He does have it. He's a
I think unlikely. Got it.
yeah.
I like that how they're covering their grounds though.
Yeah, they're trying their
They're
best.
not
They're
just
like
definitively saying.
that's a yesterday AI rant, and I think we're done basketball. I think we cover everything, so we can go to baseball after this. But AI little thing, since we mentioned it, I looked up yesterday. I was like, does Ace what it was pretty cool. I looked up. I was like, what stores will have a fish filter that isn't a fish store or a pet store? And then I said, because there's an Ace Hardware right in my neighborhood. I didn't want to go out of the neighborhood. I was like, does Ace Hardware have it?
Mhm.
And they were like, there's a slim chance that Ace Hardware has it, but here's a list of like stores that will have them.
There
Um,
you go.
yeah, and then it was cool. Like it was like you're right. It's cool that they cover themselves because I called Ace Hardware. So you guys got any fish filters? No, but I'm not mad at the AI here. They said
Yeah,
maybe. They said maybe. So um,
slim
yeah,
chance.
it's pretty cool. All this, it's all coming together. It's
I like ChatGPT.
I started using it at work
Not a great
too.
take, but
No, yeah, no, I think it is a good take because I think people are definitely resilient on it. Um, and like there's definitely a barrier where it's like people don't want to use them. Um, and I think if you format, it's all about how you format the prompt. If you format your prompt well,
yes, it's prompt
um,
engineering.
yeah, yeah. If you format your prompt well, you can end up like it's. I use it for work sometimes. It's like I'm talking to one of my
We
bosses.
use it at work.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right,
Yeah,
let's
we use it at work to like point us in the right direction for stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I had to do like some form coding. Like I had no idea how to do that.
I was
So
about to say, if you're ever coding,
yep.
it's such a huge help.
All right. We got time for baseball? We got anything?
Yeah, we can talk about baseball a little bit. Dodgers finally lost the Phillies last night.
Nice.
So they are not invincible. Yeah, they actually were. Phillies had them shut out for 8 innings, and then they scored two in the ninth. And got a little bit dicey. Um, and they kept trying to steal second. They tried to steal second twice. Like in the eighth, they had first and third with Mookie up, and Otani tried to steal second, got thrown out. And then in the ninth, they had first and third again, down a run with two outs, try to steal second, got thrown out again. Um, so I don't. We'll never understand why they
Hockey.
tried that. Huh?
Hockey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Otani, he's a gambler.
Yeah, it's that.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah. So that was cool. Phillies Dodgers is the best series this weekend for sure. Padres were the other undefeated team. They also lost yesterday to the Cubs. So everyone is now on the books for at least one L. Braves finally won a game last night against the Marlins, which is crazy that
What's
they're
up with the
one and
Braves?
seven.
Why are they 1-7? Also, one and
Um,
seven. Is that a death sentence? Are they done?
no, they
Okay.
have. I was looking at Fangraphs the other day, and they still have like a 35% chance to win the division, and the
Oh,
Phillies are at like 40%, and they're 6-1.
okay.
Um,
Because I
so
saw
yeah,
things. It
definitely
was
not
like
a death sentence.
no teams made the playoffs starting 7-0. I was like, it's baseball. There's 1,000 games here. Like,
Yeah,
I think it'll be
right.
fine.
There's 162 games. It's
Yeah.
not yeah. It's not the NFL where you start 0-3, you're basically toast. Um, But yeah, they're just like their lineups have not been good. They have a couple injuries. They have that suspension to Profar that I think we talked about on the last pod. But like Acuna's not back, just lost Profar. Their catcher's out, so they definitely have injuries. Um, yeah, just have not been playing good ball. They also had to open with the Padres and the Dodgers on the road, which is
Oh, that's
not
tough.
easy. So if you see the correlation there, the two undefeated teams both taking advantage of the defeated team.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, nothing crazy. I think the torpedo bat hype is kind of cooled off a little bit. I do get DraftKings alerts that's like, oh, you want to bet on someone to hit a home run? They have a torpedo bat. Like, yeah, it's Like we're kind of past that now. I know that guys are ordering them, so it's just going to be a part of the game. But yeah,
That's how it
nothing.
should be. That's what we
I
wanted.
think we're done with the
Everyone should see.
craze, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll
It,
we'll see. If Anthony Volpe hits like 300 with 30 home runs this year, that would be kind of crazy because he's just not that good. Um, Volpe also, like, if you watch all of his home runs, they're all on like the short porch at Yankee Stadium, and there's like a Twitter account that tracks how many ballparks would this be a home run in. And Volpe's like all of them are. It would be a home run in 1 out of 30 ballparks, and it's always Yankee Stadium. He even hits pop ups to right field, and it's such short fence out there. It's
I love that
ridiculous.
about baseball, though.
Uh,
I love
no,
that
it is
about
cool.
baseball.
Yeah,
It should be
and
that should
so
be that should be like each stadium should have its own unique atmosphere, and like even rules or home runs should be different in each stadium.
yeah, it is funny if you like compare it to other sports though. It's like in football, it's like, oh, if the Commanders like if their field was actually 107 yards instead of 100. Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No,
um,
when you get into other, it's like the Warriors 3-point line is like 2 inches shorter.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, and it's like with the outdoor factor, I don't think this is really that big of an effect in football outside of just whether it's cold or not. But like in Colorado, the ball travels way further. So if you look at the over unders for any Rockies game, it's always going to be set at like 9 at the lowest, no matter who's pitching, because you hit the ball, it goes further.
yeah,
And the Rockies have never had a good pitcher ever. And it's almost like it's much harder to pitch there, and guys don't want to sign there because it's easier to give up home runs. But yeah,
that makes
it
total
is like
sense.
kind of fun. Also, if you like, I've been trying to teach myself a little bit more about some of the advanced metrics that are used, and like they all have ballpark factors applied to them.
Really,
Like, okay, well, this guy's yeah. So like this guy's expected ERA is 3.5, but he's pitching for like the Rockies, so his adjusted expected ERA is like 3.2 or something like that.
that's pretty cool.
So it is like this weird nuance that they have to account for. But yeah, anyway, that's the one at Yankee Stadium. Is the porch is super short. Yeah, no like big storylines this week. The NL West is probably the best division ever, with the Padres and the Dodgers. Giants started 6-1. Diamondbacks are over 500, and then there's the poor Rockies who are just gonna get bludgeoned like 60 times a year by those teams. But yeah, still week into the season. It is cool that we get a Phillies Dodgers series this early though.
Yeah, so
Maybe an LCS preview.
yeah, what's up with the Phillies? They're 6-1. I mean, everything that you're expecting, everything's going right.
It doesn't feel like they're 6-1 because they're not hitting against team starters. So like I think they're among the league's leaders in runs scored. Maybe not. But they're middle of the pack at least. But they're not coming until the 7th inning or later. So I'd like to see them get to some starters a little bit earlier. Bullpen has been a little bit shaky too, but they've done enough to withstand that. Starting pitching has been awesome.
Nice.
So they're like 1 through 5 has been lights out outside of one bad start from Aaron Nola, who throws tonight again. Big storyline today is, will Roki Sasaki cry again? Because in his last game at Dodger Stadium, he cried in the dugout because he got lit up. And now he's playing in Philly. I would love just like a bull cam of him warming up before the game.
Yeah. Damn, crying.
It's gonna be tough seeing.
There's no crying in
Yeah.
baseball.
There's no crying in baseball, but there is now.
Wow. On a Dodgers
So
team too. Talk about
he's like 23 years old,
entitled.
from Japan, and he signed like a massive contract to come over here, and just got smoked his first 2 games. So like, I get it. There's a lot of pressure, and it's the Dodgers, and they are the best team. Like, it almost makes it worse that it's the Dodgers because A, it's a bigger story when it's the Dodgers, and B, like they're gonna win every single game.
Yeah.
So if you're the reason they lose, then it's like super embarrassing. Um, yeah, it definitely caused a stir on. There were some
Oh,
former
for
players that
sure.
came out. They're like, "No crying, dude.
No
Like,
crying in
if you gotta
baseball.
cry, go in the clubhouse and cry."
Yeah.
Um, but I like there is something to be said, I guess, for just standing out there and taking it like a champ.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah, I
just
cry.
yeah. Put your
Big
emotions on your
deal.
sleeve or whatever they
Yeah,
say.
that's right. So, yeah, hopefully he bounces back. Not tonight. I do hope he cries again today, because that would mean the Phillies get to him. But
I
great pitcher.
this
He'll be fine.
this baseball season's been fun. I know I mentioned it last time, but they've
It
done a
has
good
been
job
fun.
marketing. It's been a good job.
Yeah. The Orioles are their overs are gonna hit every single game, because I don't think they did enough to address their starting pitching this offseason. And it has shown through. I mean, they've been playing the Red Sox a couple
Yeah.
times, and a lot of runs, which is good.
Yeah, that's what we
Good
want for all
for
teams, right?
outside observers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna end off. The Gamecocks, they're in the national championship, women. Um, my dad, my dad, UConn fan, always been a UConn fan. UConn's in the national championship as well. They faced in 2022. I wasn't home. So now it'll be interesting how it's divided. Because I'll be home, we'll be watching it together, with two different gears on, rooting against each other for the first time probably ever. So that'll
Yeah,
be
that's
that'll be
yeah.
interesting.
'Cause I
That'll be
guess
fun.
every other time UConn's been in it, you've been cheering for them.
Yeah, yeah. So
Closet UConn supporter.
yeah, I'm a closet UConn supporter. That's fair. Um, but it's all about the Gamecocks, baby. They got to dominate. I don't want to see Paige, but I want to beat Paige Buckets just like we beat Caitlin Clark last year. She's an amazing player. The Gamecocks team is awesome. They've been down in like the half of like all these games and then just dominate second half and just blow these teams out.
Mhm.
So they can definitely start slow against UConn. UConn's gonna be a good team though. They blow out teams all the time. They're gonna have to keep it close. It's gonna be fun. I just wanted to throw that out there.
When's the game tomorrow?
It's a good question. It's normally on Sundays.
I remember last year it was like Sunday at 3, maybe.
Yeah, it was. It was a weird time like that. I don't know why they do that. Um, I accidentally brought up. You can like bring up like the Google code. Yeah, it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. So
Okay,
there you go.
right after Ovi breaks the record.
Yeah, yeah, he tied it. We gotta mention that he
Tied it
tied it.
last night.
Yes,
Yeah,
that'll be pumped. I don't watch hockey, but I'll throw on that game tomorrow at 12 to see if he gets
I hope
the
he doesn't get it tomorrow. I hope he gets it. They play Thursday at home. I hope he waits to do it
at
until
home would be
then.
cool. Yeah, at home would be cool.
And they definitely could have gotten it, or not definitely, but they might have had a chance to get it last night with an empty net, and apparently he doesn't want to do it on an empty net, which
That's
I
fair.
think is good. It
That's
would be a super
respectful.
game
Yeah, be
on an
respectful.
empty net.
All right.
Yeah, he scored twice last night. Insane.
Yeah, to tie it. That's awesome.
He also missed like a month with a broken leg. And he still has 41 goals this year.
That's insanity.
He's just like on a mission. I think he's done after this year.
He's got to
Like he'll
break it and call it.
I think there's another year on his contract, but I think he's just gonna be like sailing off into the sunset.
Yeah, wipe it
I
off.
go back to
That's great though. That's a great story. It's definitely good for our local atmosphere.
oh yeah.
People are all about it. All right. Well, that does it. Thank you all for listening. We'll see everyone on Tuesday. Um, for whatever. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about, but we'll figure it out.
National championship recap
Yeah.
and probably some transfer portal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's because the men's
Almost
is
mock
Monday,
draft time.
right? It's almost
Yeah.
draft time.
I probably won't even stay up for it. It's like 9:50.
Duke's gonna dominate anyways. It's not gonna matter. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll see everyone on Tuesday.